Hello and welcome to Don't Toy With Me. Light spills through the tiny windows of the dollhouse, catching the flakes of dust in the air. Though it's early in the morning that inhibits the awake for a little while now, it is expected that toys wouldn't quite have the same grasp as time as you do. Interesting. Whisker, you haven't touched your tea. Her least of all, she's an antique. You could at least pretend to drink it, since I went to the trouble of making it. The suffering rabbit sits at the table, a frown on its embarrassed face. It turns its head away from the cup in defense. Geez, you're so moody lately. I know it's not trebly fun to be stuck alone here with me, but you're not doing yourself any favors by being difficult. Don't you think we should be making the best of it? I really would. You let me cut your mouth so you could try to hold a conversation? Ooh, Whisker looks a little bit scared about that situation. Trying to cut him? Huh? The rabbit scurries off across the wooden floor and down the stairs. Dahlia sighs. It was only a suggestion. I'm not going to force you. I suppose that's another cup down the drain then. Dahlia gathers up the teacups and saucers from the floor to take down to the kitchen. Though Whisker has been in the house for a while with her now, he always been treble skittish. The kitchen holds the rest of the tea set, always ready for the hypothetical tea party that thus far hasn't came to fruition. The rabbit wasn't about to sit at the table with her. Thinking back on, she was troubled, recalling who it was that used to sit there with her. Oh, that's just getting a little odd. You're listening right now, aren't you? I'm fairly certain I can hear you out there. Alright, do I want to tap tap or be silent? I'll tap tap. The sound of large fingers gently tapping nails on the outside of the house answers her question. She smiles softly. There you are. Maybe you could join me. I'm not sure how you would fit in here with me, but I would welcome anyone anyway. Perhaps you could let me outside. I would sit at the roof be closer with you. You know better than to give her way on that. The cracks on her face tell the story of a previous exploration outside of the house. She is met with silence. Her smile holds patiently for about 10 seconds. Fine. Then I won't be entirely entertaining you either. If your urge to be responsible finds you, I'll be reading in my room. She storms out of the kitchen and up the stairs. You decide to give her some time to cool off while you leave to run an errand. You have finally she light up when you retrieve your new purchase. The dollhouse is little but closer than it was this morning. Dahlia has spent some time dusting and picking up. Much cleaner. She prefers her home spotless, or at least she used to. Now it seems she settles for cleaning enough, and she never bothers with the attic anymore. She idly stares atop her wardrobe in her room. A heavy thump quickly undoes this. What? She turns, looking around in surprise. Hastily, she peers out of her bedroom door and down the stairs. Whisker is already in the foyer, investigating. What is it? She descends the stairs, delicate joints cracking with each step. She finds the large box taking up the entryway. Oh my, a present! Her eyes light up with interest, running her fingers over the wooden exterior. She's a quiet quirk to her brown when she realizes it's cheap, compressed wood. Something new, then? Whisker presses his ear into the side of the box. He hops back away when he hears a cough from inside, hiding behind Dahlia. What is it? She searched around the lid, unable to quite pull it up. She finally finds her hook on the other side and undoes it from the small peg that holds the lid shut. She pretty throws the lid open and bright smile on her face. Oh, Whisker, look. Any friend? Is he dead? Kinda looks it. I'm not dead. I'm gonna give him kind of like a monotone. Oh, good. The clown in the box hangs limply when Dahlia drags him out of the box by his shirt. She's surprised to find that he's mostly fabric with little structures underneath. His sleeves are half empty, tied at the seams with a ruffle. All in all, his head is solid, but his body is plush. Hello, new friend. My name is Dahlia. This is my friend Whisker. The rabbit's ears lie back. Looking none too friendly, he keeps his distance. I'm sorry for all the excitement. It's just been so long since we've had a new toy. We'll not had, obviously we don't have you. What are you actually? Oh, where on earth are my manners? What do you go by, friend? No, I don't go by friend. And I'm a puppet. My name is Huxley. Huxley? How nice. And a puppet? Why, that does explain it. Oh, let me take you to a chair. I shouldn't be holding you whole time like a little bear. With Huxley comfortably situated in the chair at the table, Dahlia sits opposite of him. She all smiles, even though the clown looks so sullen. Here, have some tea. Oh, you can hold the cup. Oh, can you hold the cup? Have a silly straw. Thanks. Despite the thanks, the clown doesn't make any move to drink the tea. Are you all right, Huxley? I don't expect you to be quite as excited as me, but you look so upset. I'm not upset, but what's there is to be excited for? You've taken me out of the box, and here I am sitting in another box. The other difference is that I'm not the only one in the box. Aye, but that makes all the difference, doesn't it? I don't enjoy watching Whiskers, but he's one for conversation. And now this won't be such a lonely place. What do you want to do? I'll show you that there's fun to have here. I don't want anything, thanks. Oh. Well, surely that isn't true. Everyone wants something. Do you want something quiet? We could lie on the floor and watch the stars project. If that's what you would like to do. No. We're trying to find something you want to do. Do you want to tell jokes? You are a clown. If you'd like. Do you hear about the clown car that crashed out in the middle of nowhere? There was 30 casualties. I don't think I get that one. I'll try again. What do you get when you boil a clown? A laughing stock. Ha ha ha! Oh, that's funny. That's a little messed up. Clown soup. I bet it would be polka dotted too. Oh, look, let me try. A clown named Policy goes to see a therapist. Oh, darn it. I messed it up. Hey, you're a funny lady, Dahlia. Oh, you smiled. Oh, don't stop being just because I pointed it out. I'll start getting the idea you're determined to sulk. Sorry. I haven't told any jokes in a while. No audience unless I got brought out just for that. So I stopped. What's the point? The point of telling jokes? The point of coming up with jokes, if only get to tell them when someone gives you the time of day. I don't like being a puppet. The only choice I get is to get not participate. So I started doing that opt out. Oh, so you just don't do anything? Nothing. I don't want to do. Which I don't want to do much lately, so yeah, kind of. He looks uncomfortable at the direction of the conversation. It's clear that he hasn't had to explain himself at long length before, especially when so withdrawn from everything. Dahlia, on the other hand, is clearly mulling the idea over in her head. Do you think you'd want to do more if you could get around better on your own? Since you could go wherever you would like and not have to wait for someone to bring you there. That would make things easier for me. No offense, but I don't think I want you stitching anything onto me, if that's what you're thinking. Ha! Why? Are you just assuming I'd be bad at it? I choose to keep my answer to myself. Humph. That wasn't what I was thinking about anyway. Wait here for just a moment. I'll try not to go anywhere. Dahlia leaves the kitchen, hurrying off back to the foyer. Stands near the box Huxley arrived in and looks up, her gaze aimless she isn't quite sure of where to look. What are you going to ask for him? You're going to stab something into him? That's kind of scary. Hello up there. I imagine you're still watching, yes? Thank you for sending me a new friend. I know I've asked for one of a lot, but I'm afraid I need to ask for something else. I'm sorry for asking so soon after receiving this gift, but it isn't for me, so I hope that it might make up for it. ... So you think perhaps you could give me something to help Huxley move? Perhaps wheels or wooden skeleton? Should I help out? I guess that's my only choice. Here we go. You suppose that there could be any harm in it? If the puppet is really so broken that it can't even keep her company, it doesn't do much good, does it? It will have to be modification, so simply that. Even the toy can figure it out, You have an idea. Surely, with only a single item to work with, she'll understand what you need to be done. This place is your gift in the box to Huxley arrived in? Dahlia, look at the surprise as she sees a large spring in the box. Oh! Yes, this is perfect. Thank you so much. The pleaks her prize from the container. Needs both hands to carry it. It's as long as her, at the very least. Seeing as it's a barely unwinding, perhaps it isn't the best idea to bring it near the tea set. She ends up leaving it behind and fetching Huxley instead. It takes the pair a few minutes to figure out the logistics of the attachment, but it ends up sewing securely in the opening of Huxley's body. Ugh, just kind of shoving it in there. Alright. He takes a moment to get used to the bouncing on the spring. This certainly is different. I think I'm getting the hang of it, though. The stairs will be some practice. That's what the railing is for. At least you'll get better at jumping. Perhaps soon you'll be able to leap from the landing to the upstairs doorway in one go. She laughs at the idea, but he seems to be very serious considering it. Perhaps so. Everything else is upstairs, right? What about the back room? More stairs, unfortunately. There's the doorway to the attic. And what's up there? More stairs. The ceiling, silly. And some old odds and ends. Some things just don't really have a place in the house. Well, that's messed up. But they still have to go somewhere. Perhaps we could eventually convert it into a bedroom for you. Your cruelty knows no bounds, Lady Dahlia. Making a man able to jump, then putting him in a room with a low ceiling. I don't mean... I know. I'm only teasing you. For someone who kept waiting me to light up, you surely aren't at recognizing a joke. Oh, don't tease me. But I'm happy you see you're in a better place. I am. I've never had something like this. Though, is this really only? What do you mean? Nothing. I don't bring up the puppet, so I don't know why I should feel odd about being something else. Like a jack-in-the-box? I would never. She should just turn him into a jack-in-the-box. I mean, to stay, I'm not getting back in the box. Oh, of course not. But you will have to sleep somewhere. And I suppose the box could stay here in the foyer. We could make it into a table or use it as a chest. I just don't want to have to carry it up to the attic. Ha! Whatever you want to do with it, it's not mine. But yeah, I guess that makes me a jack out of the box. Which I also never do. Dahlia tilts her head in confusion once more. Huxley spares her any explanation of the joke. I'm actually feeling a little fidgety now. I think I want to give the stairs a try. Will you see me at the rest of the house if I make it up? Of course. And if you can't, I'll carry you. I'll make it up, even if I have to drag myself up. Just, maybe go stand out of the way, just in case. With some time and effort, and the couple of painting knocked off of the wall, Huxley manages to make his way up the stairs, just knocking off all the paintings, why don't we? Dahlia feels perhaps a few new cracks were added to her face from the worry with which she watched when he twice spilled backwards down the stairs. Luckily, the clown was not so delicate as she was. He bounced like a rubber. Perhaps that's what he was made of. Though remains of her mind, and she had to remind her new friend that she is much more fragile than he is. But for now, she hurries up after him to congratulate him and show him around the upper floor. The linen closet isn't exactly a room, but it's important to show regardless. The bathroom is slightly more important, of course, though perhaps less important than I would have been in a real house. Huxley notes a liner small of paint and powder in the bathroom. It must be where Dahlia touches up her face. At least Dahlia brings him to her bedroom. I don't think that I've ever had anyone in here before. Well, aside from Whisker. You don't think so? Where is the little guy anyway? I kind of expected him to join us for the tour. Oh, don't mind him. He's so jumpy these days. I couldn't ever tell you why. Perhaps he's less confident about without other plush animals around. Did there used to be more? I can't seem to recall. That's kind of scary that she can't recall if there was. I know I knew a teddy bear once. Perhaps he was a friend of Whisker's. She frowns forward in the concentration. Huxley watches on her concern. I'm remembering things a regular problem for you, Dahlia. In a sense, I suppose it is. Very little change in the house, so the days tend to bleed together. If I have trouble remembering something hard perhaps I knew, whether it's due to forgetfulness or because it happened longer ago than I realize. I've recently started writing in a journal again, though, so that should help with the more recent days. I wasn't sure where it was for a while, so I have to really make good use of it now that I have it again. So you lose your journal randomly. Wonder what the guy with the toys is doing. Yeah, sounds like a plan. If I gets curious, I could always read up on what I missed before I get here. Absolutely not. I keep it locked so that you couldn't even if you wanted to. Just another joke, Dahlia. I wasn't read your diary. You better not. Now, what was I going to show you in here? Oh, I wanted to show you here in the wardrobe. I keep my dresses here, but I'll full of mini games as well. You could feel free to help yourself to any of them if you find yourself looking for something to do. Then play. I have my bookcase in here as well. I have all the classics. Pride and Prejudice, A Little Princess, Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale collection. Quite the collection, Dahlia. Are you teasing me again? No, there's just very you. Except that one. The complete short stories of Edgar Allan Poe. A little bit of a gothic at heart, are you? I did say I loved the classics. What about you, Mr. Know-It-All? You're making yourself sound rather well read. I just heard my sharp of behind time stories in my day. Bedtime stories. And the others I've heard a little of in homework from, I have to say I haven't made me the most bookish kind of guy. Except maybe joke books. Ha! Well, in your words, that's very you. There's no shame in it, but I warn you that you will eventually want to do some reading. Beggars can't be choosers for entertainment in this house. Though I'd be happy to read to you. I can see it now. I let you know if I have trouble falling asleep then maybe I could use it. Julie's a little crumpy. Bleh. It's refreshing to see Dahlia looking so lively again after so much time spent by herself in the dollhouse. She had her problems in the past getting along with other toys, but the clown seems to be a good choice. Entering as a jester should be, but not so energetic that it would impose upon her lifestyle. She consequences herself in the enlightened lady, after all, and some wild fool would certainly find themselves met with the friction when it came to her living with her. Hopefully they continue to get along. In the following days they seem to adjust well enough. They play their games and have their tea together, and even Whisker seems to be more at ease with Huxley around. It's a point of concern in some ways. Hopefully the rabbit doesn't come to be a affiliate of the clown. But for now, it's happy days within the dollhouse. You find yourself watching them regularly. Today, you've gathered in the attic to improve Huxley's sleeping area. I'm sorry. We don't have a better place to keep a lot of things though I'm happy the bed is finally seeing more use. It's not too bad. The spiders have been keeping me company at night. Spiders? Well, probably just little mites. I have wondered about some of the things you keep up here, though. Don't you change this subject about mentioning spiders. Are there really spiders up here? No, I was only joking, Dahlia. Ah, you better be horrible creatures. Kind of got confused a little bit there when they were talking. Now, what were you wondering about? Well, I noticed some of these things seem out of place here. The paintings, sure, they make sense for you to have, but there are some odd brass kinkles in here that don't look like any of your other stuff, like the big brass horse head. Excuse me. It's a knight. But you are right. I don't look familiar. And there's some old clothing up here. Oh, I really haven't cleaned up here in some time, but I don't think there was anything but spare decor items. What sort of clothing is it? Well, I found some bow ties, like the formal kind, not like my ribbon. And now, offense to our dearest Lady Dahlia, but they won't really suit you. Do they belong to Whisker? No, Whisker doesn't really have many belongings to speak of. Whisker shakes his head to confirm this. Yeah. He only has the little bed in the room and a few little toys of his own. Though half of the time he seems to prefer playing with balled up paper more than things I make for him. One doll's trash is a rabbit's treasure. I'm almost certain that not how the phrase goes. Well, in any case, they seem like men's clothes to me, though I don't see old hairbrushes and things as well. Not one of the matches your set, though. Do you think some of this was left over from whoever lived in the house before you? And I suppose that's possible. Though it seems strange to me that the owner wouldn't remove such things before placing me here. Maybe the owner hoped for more masculine dolls. I'm sure that is exactly what they were hoping for. They've had me the long after all? Well, the owner doesn't seem to be interested in doing much to your home regardless, so maybe they didn't bother with this. Or they using your storage for their extra things. Oh, I hadn't considered that. And they get quite at times, but that doesn't mean they lack interest. They love me. They love me and I love them too. You know, should you get a room then? Or I guess a house. Oh, hush. That's no need to be jealous, Huxley. I'm sure they love you too. You wouldn't be living here if they didn't find something appealing about you. I must have been my sparkling personality then. Perhaps it was. Right. Well, I don't have any doubts that they just tossing me in here for your sake if they really love you so much. How do you mean? Well, you have told me a few times just how lonely it is here without someone to have conversations with. And here I am. Well, I am happy you're here, but I doubt it's just for me. It's all that seems to me. So long as they leave me be, I'm just fine. Oh, that's silly, Huxley. I know you're enjoying the attention if you got it. Doubt it. Such a sourpuss. I suppose you will find out the next time they do decide to check in on us regardless. I'll be holding my breath until then. The conversation comes to a stop as the pair go back to the cleaning, but it leaves you with some thinking to do. It has been a little time since you initially purchased the clown, so you've had a little time to get to know more about him. More so that you could have known taking him off of the shelf. At this point, Dahlia remains favorite. Huxley is winning you over. Ooh, a choice to be made. I'm going to go with Huxley because he seems less scary. I would be a lie to say that the clown wasn't growing on you. And I'm a clown, so you know. Have to pick the clown, right? Though first, you did only bring him to be the dollhouse in order to provide Dahlia with some company. He funny little guy in his own right. Even if not always, though his jokes... Even if not always his jokes, you have a start thing of some ways to make him feel more welcome in the house now that you have Dahlia will be able to get along with him. Things are fairly peaceful in the dollhouse for some time after. You check on the toys from time to time, a little more frequently than you would when it was only Dahlia Whisker in the house. It's more active than it has been in some time, so there's more to see going on. You decide you'll be adding some new things for them from time to time to keep up the level of activity. Wow, we're getting really active in this place. Try that piece in the bottom right there. Whisker leans forward against the table to move one of the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. His little paws nudge it carefully down into the fit within its place. Oh, only... okay. That's part of the red costume. That's why the color was so different. Oh, what are you two up to here? Hey, Dahlia, Whisker was just helping me with this puzzle. I tried by myself, but you know, me butterfingers. Huxley says that as an extent of one of the Diddley Stump's arms before lowering it again. Oh yes, I see. I really enjoy puzzles. You don't have... You should have told me. I would have been happy to help. Ah, you were reading, so I didn't want to bother you about it. Plus, I think Whisker likes puzzles. The rabbit perks up at this, comforting the statement. Dahlia demeanor changes at that. Something about this is bothering her. Humph. Whisker never wanted to do puzzles with me. He never wants to sit up on my lap like that either. Actually, where did you get this? I don't remember seeing this puzzle before. You haven't? I found it in the foyer today. I assumed you left it out. I don't leave my things lying around. I must be new. How odd. The owner always brings new gifts to my attention. Huh. I guess it was for me then. I don't think it's much of your style anyway. Dahlia moves closer to the table to look at the illustration on the puzzle box. It's a figure of group of circus performers putting on a show in front of a drably dressed audience. Their costumes are bright and colorful against the muted background. Got him a circus puzzle. The only full character in the puzzle they've put together, though, so far is the mischievous clown in the striped things. So this one? Yes, I suppose it would have to be for you then. Something wrong, Dahlia. You can still put it together with us. Not worrying excellently, but was this the only thing in the foyer? So demanding. Yeah, I don't see anything else out of place. Well, you two enjoy your puzzle then. I suppose I have other things to do. What's up with her, Whisker? You think she's mad at me? I hate guessing games like this. I guess I'll just ask her about it later. Dahlia makes her way up to the attic and knocks on the ceiling of the house. Are you up there? I know you had to be here earlier. Say nothing? Tap tap. No, tap tap. I thought so. That was awfully mean of you earlier, you know? What was mean? Leaving Huxley a gift and nothing for me? What the hell? You have like this entire house. He has a puzzle. Now that you have a new toy, you're just going to leave me to gather dust. She's being a melodramatic, but you did somewhat expect this from her. She never taken well to having to share attention. Though you're a little surprised she already noticed you gave him attention over a single small gift. He didn't even thank you or give you credit for it, so it's not as though he's going to be seeking your attention out because of the puzzle. Well, since you don't plan on answering me, you should know I'm feeling very cross with you about this. Between leaving me alone in here for a long time and immediately turning your attention to a new friend, I'm feeling very replaced. You're a jelly belly. Big old jelly belly. So I expect you to do something to make this up to me. What a jerk. A fragile body and a fragile heart. The Priceland drama queen exits the attic. Drama queen. You might consider getting her something as well to cheer her up. But at the same time, you don't want her to encourage her to indulge in such dramatics every time you do something for Huxley. And you know she'll catch on if you make it a pattern. For now, you will just have to ignore the outburst. Yeah, she's being a little jerky-poo. Jerky-poo. You leave the dollhouse alone for the rest of the day. Next morning, you decide to check on them, the group around the breakfast table. Luckily, it looks like everyone is relaxed again, as they are all spending time together. Oh, so it's Quiche? Oh, Huxley, Quiche. Are you paying attention? You look ready to fall asleep. I never get up this early. My head feels empty. My body feels boneless. And you don't have bones. And I'm not sure if your head is empty or not, actually. Do you have a glass eye like mine? Wait. You're distracting me. I'm trying to give you instructions. Ah. Hee hee. Sigh, Lady Dahlia. Please continue. Well, I was going to have you dice the vegetables for the quiche. But I'd rather not have you holding a knife while you're so tired. Why don't you mix up the eggs for me instead? I'll measure out the other ingredients for you to mix in, and you'll just have to main the mixer. Chef, easier for me. I'm a klutz with a knife anyway. Right. Butterfingers. Did she take that seriously? The group gets to the work and complex breakfast dish. Dahlia works effectively as she dices up their varnished vegetables into little cubes that will suit the size of the dish. She occasionally moves the check of Huxley's progress, but he seems to have things handled. Whisker hangs out the clown back watching the mixture curing in the bowl, and occasionally moves the leaving switch when Huxley asks him to. As you watch, you start to notice how much Dahlia looks over their way, a small frown on her face. Whisker catching her eye at one point and looks away. She turns her gaze down her cutting board. By the time everything is put together to go into the oven, she's on edge. She excuses herself from the kitchen, asking Huxley to set the timer for her on her way out. She heads to the foyer. Oh, here she goes asking for junk again. Stepping into the foyer, Dahlia spots a handful of items on a box-turned table that Huxley arrived in. A couple of colored balls, some silk handkerchief squares, also colorful, some oversized playing cards. Oh, crap. We're screwed. Nothing she'd really be interested in. But there is one particularly ordinate item among the group. She approaches and picks it up. Oh, what a cutie little cane. I usually prefer parcels, but this is nice. Ah! As she turns the wooden cane over in her hands, she obviously a metal handle at the top. The fairly textured made it easier to grab, even without wrapping fingers on the way around it. The flat holding a little painted disc, particularly etched with a distinctive H. Dun dun dun. Your work is detailed, even when you work with such small materials. You were very particular in making this gift. Oh, she snaps it. The hand cane lies jerked in half on the ground. What a jerk. Whoa. What was that? Nothing. Did I tell you to wait in the kitchen? So I don't have to. And I was worried you were acting weird. Are those for me? Dahlia kicks the handle of the end of the broken cane behind her with her heel. Probably looks like all of it's for you. Huh. Whiskers scatters the figure's foyer, and huskily sighed, carrying the cane handle in his paws. Ooh, this is gonna cause a fight. His little plus steps with unnoticed by the larger toys in the room. Huxley takes the cane and looks to see that Dahlia was hiding. Geez, Dahlia, what's your problem? Seriously, I don't even... Did I do to you? It's not you. I'm just upset with the owner right now. I was really angry and I had just picked up the cane. I was so mad I just hit it against the box without thinking about it and it broke. It was an accident. Bully. You don't break anything else. You only break something that was for me. Huxley, are you crying? No. I honestly didn't think it would mean so much to you. It's just a cane. It was made for me. Nobody's ever made something just for me. You have so much, but you want to take any away what I've got too. It was an accident. You're already admitting though, about it. That's enough. You very upset with Dahlia for adding. You can see Huxley is getting pretty worked up. Best to separate them for now. And you put Dahlia where you don't have to look at her for a little while. But, oh, just picked her right up. You put Dahlia in her room and lock the door. Huxley, who was already upset by turning the events, is terrified seeing your hand enter the... Giant hand comes into a house. The dollhouse suddenly. There isn't much else you could do but leave them alone to calm down. Dahlia pounds on the door of her room. You can hear her voice cracking as she cries to you, threatens you, saying whatever she think of absolve of your guilt. She just doesn't want to be responsible for what she did. You decide to leave her there until you're feeling less upset about what happened. Whatever happens to be. For now, you decide to focus on making a new gift for Huxley. You haven't expected him to be so sentimental over it, but knowing meaningful to him, you newly motivate yours to make something he'll enjoy. If he's willing to accept something like from you, with his fear of your physical presence, it is good first foot in the door to actually bonding with the clown. But what to make? A portrait, a bed, or a cane? Well, he's sleeping on like an old janky bed, so I think the bed would feel better. I'm gonna go bed. Right. He's still sleeping on that rickety old metal frame in the attic. That's been in there for years. You're sure he could use something more comfortable, and on the top of that, you can customize it to make it suitable for him. Perhaps it would look nice with something bright colors and star relief craving on the headboard. Maybe bed knobs that look like circus sea lions balancing a ball on their nose. Dang, you have some creative carving going on. The idea is ambitious, but your mind is already racing with ideas. You decide you better get to work right away. Over the next couple of days, you leave the dollhouse alone to work diligently for the bed for Huxley. You imagine he would be like something time without you looming over the house after what happened before. However, you know that before you can present him with the bed, you'll have to try to get things back to normal within the house. It's time to check on Dahlia. You find her laying on her bed, completely despondent. She fully dressed, though you can't be sure whether that means she is getting up every day to get ready or just hanging change into her pajamas since you put her here. You unlock the door with a click. She immediately alert. You're back. I thought maybe you were going to leave me in here forever. I'm sorry for acting out before. I shouldn't have destroyed something that you made. Well, this is a surprise, but you doubt she'll learn much from this event. Even she's trying to make up with you now. You should consider my feelings too, though. It's not about the gifts, especially. You know that you don't you? Oh boy. You aren't sure what is to do in response to this. She looks ready to burst into tears, and you're still pretty close with her. It doesn't neglect your suspicions. She only trying to get your simply to your forgive her for acting out. She looks up and around the room expectantly. When nothing happens, she slowly sinks. I see. You don't want to talk to about it right now. That's fine. It's fine. I should go let Huxley and Whisker know I'm out again. And suppose talk to Huxley about it. I love you. Please talk to me soon. She anxiously hurries out of the room, her posture stiff and her expression full of worry. Just in case you stick around to listen in her and Huxley. You find the conversation already in progress, but the voices are low and hard to hear. Perhaps Dahlia didn't want you to listen in. I just worry that's the direction this is going. I don't remember it clearly, but I have mentioned in my journal. I don't think it was out of question that the replacement I want they have in mind. Well, I don't know them very well, so can't say that, but when I got here, you tried very hard to tell me how much you trusted them on stuff. Plus, don't you think that's kind of overreaction to a few gifts for me? This house is actually full of stuff for you, so it's just common sense that more things would be added for me to balance it out. You just don't get it. My bond with them is special, so I can tell when they are pulling me away. Well, so what then? So what? Yeah, I mean, they put me in here for you, didn't they? It's not like you'd be alone, even if they decide to focus their attention on me. That's not the same. Oh. Ugh. I'm not trying to say I don't like you, Huxley. I don't. I like you a lot. You're my friend. But the owner, that's something else differently entirely. My friendship with them makes me happy, but you don't give me life purpose. Nobody can do that for you, Dahlia. I know you're mad just for them, but here's the thing. You have no purpose. Nobody does. Nobody can give you one. That's the awful truth. You have to get it in life by your own will. Or just spin your wheels like it was when I just gave up. It's your own choice. There's no pressure in life for someone else, but there's no drive outside of your own wants, and that's difficult, but it's what it is. But that could possibly be right, and how would you know anyway? You've spent your whole life just moping and hating what you are. Just because lack of purpose doesn't mean I do too. I don't have to know better than confined to you. You don't get to because you've never been anyone's favorite. Well, I'm Whisker's favorite. For the second time in just a few minutes, Dahlia storms out of the room, though this time it's clear she angrily than she is upset. But at the very least, Huxley stood his ground this time. Dahlia looks like she's going to stalk over the tea in the kitchen, so you feel safe in leaving them alone for a while back to work. I don't feel safe about that. As long as she isn't at his throat, she could be mad all she likes. Oh, wow. Today you furnished your bed for Huxley. Rather than draw attention to it, you left it in the foyer for him to find. You're excited to see his reaction. He appreciates the bed, reaching to touch the headboard, as though to check if it was real. You feel a sense of pride in the piece of furniture being carved out of real wood. It's not some cheap plastic diorama piece for a craft store. Clearly, he noticed just how much work it was put into it. He sits on the edge of the bed, testing out the springs of the mattress. It's definitely better than the old one and the attic. It's only your hope that it would feel more at home this way. It's a big piece of furniture that can't easily be ignored, and his style is all over it. Like Dahlia improves the poster bed Huxley is meant to display, he has a very permanent place in this house, and it all his. You're probably around, right? Right, there you are. Geez, I've just realized I don't really know how to talk to you. Especially since I've been avoiding you. You had this to have noticed that? Sorry about that, and thanks for this. I really don't think you'd care for me at all, since it'd be pretty easy for you to just think of me as some object for entertainment. But you surprised me. Also, I'm not lugging this thing up the stairs myself. You have to move it. Oh no, she's here. Dahlia steps down the stairs, frowning as she looks at the composed bed in the foyer. No. Huxley, intentional Jervis, clears up all of the at seeing how she looked at it. Oh, what's this? It's taking up the whole doorway. Huxley gets back off of the bed where he was sitting. I don't think it's going to stay here. It's probably for the attic. Right, the attic. I suppose we'll just dismantle the old one to make room for the new one. Huxley doesn't respond to that. He likely knows it holds a secondary meaning in her eyes. I suppose I'll have to do it myself, since you can't really help with that. You're just trying to get a rise out of me now. How so? It's the truth. Unless you think everything I do should be about you too, I am the only one who has been acting that way over you after all, so I would understand your confusion. Why are you so jealous of me? Jealous? There's nothing to be jealous of. The owner is giving you attention because you're a novelty. You're new, and they get bored of you. Shut up! And even if they do, whatever. Whisker's my friend. I thought you were too. But whatever. One is plenty for me. At least he cares for me. You never care about anyone but yourself. Whisker quietly enters the room, having heard the commendation and he name being used. He looks especially worried. That's not true. I care about the owner, or else they wouldn't have mattered to me, because they care about me too. Oh yeah? Then what happened to what you said before about the silence being fine for you? You can ignore you all they want as long as they aren't giving attention to anyone else. You're not sure at all about whatever they care about you. You're worried you're just a toy to them, because you're putting all of your worth into getting their approval. You make yourself miserable, Dahlia. So stop coming up with ways to blame me for that. Neither of us control what they do. Neither of us know for sure they feel. Neither of us guarantee we're more than possessions for them, so it's pointless. If you don't want to be my friend, just leave me alone. You sit in silence for a moment. Is that really how he feels about you, even after you went out of your way to make him feel welcome? He's right about Dahlia insecurity, but maybe he's the same. Maybe he just can't trust you. You don't like it, but it's hard to completely disregard the point of the view. You aren't the same possession at all of the, he knows it. Surely he realizes how long you dealt with Dahlia and her dramatic thoughts. If you threw out toys every time they were difficult with you, you would never have any. Dahlia returns from the kitchen. Huxley, what do you want, Dahlia? You really don't understand a thing. You ruined everything. Don't you get it, Dahlia? Dahlia holds a kitchen knife in her hand. Ooh, no. I was wrong. I can admit that wanting friends was wrong. I should have just been just us. Even Whisker doesn't need to be here. Whisker is quick to flee. He bumps into the box, knocking the lid open. He uses it to cover. You're acting nuts. You want the bed so bad? Just take it. It's just what won't have anything. It's better than whatever this is. I don't want the stupid bed. I just want things to be like they were. Dahlia, please. You're scaring me. You're being to reach into for Dahlia, but lunges before you can come even closer. Ooh, dang. What is... You're doing it on purpose. Going and on about how much you doesn't matter to you, and how you aren't even trying. It's just come to so easily for you, doesn't it? Why I worry and try, actually care about what happens. You just mopped up everything. Gets handled to you. I'm not. Please. I'll just go. I'll ask them to take me out of here. That's not good enough. I need to know that you won't come back. Ugh. 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 Dahlia. Ugh. 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 I'm not gonna make the noise anymore. Oh no. What with the nice swinging? There wasn't much you could do, but wait. Couldn't just flicker? You couldn't just give a little boop? And whatever. He stopped moving early into the attack. She even tore out his spring and tossed it across the room. Not that it had been able to use it anyway. He's barely recognizable at this point. You choose by the time she stands up over him. His rubber head was split right up the middle and now lays splaying on the ground like open butterfly wings. It's like even half of his face is a mask, each displaying a different emotion held in a final moment. He's leaning in separate, his stuffing tossed everywhere. He's beyond saving. Whisker, you weren't always so bad. So I will. I'm sorry about this. You step away from the dollhouse. How do things go so wrong so quickly? You need to find something to put Dahlia in. You can't leave her in there, but you don't want to pick her up while she's attacking like this. The knife is the size of an X-Acto blade to you, but you don't doubt she would stick it right in through your hand if you gave her the chance, assuming she didn't go for a vein instead. You find a jar that should be about the right size and grab a large paintbrush to shove her into with the return to the dollhouse. You're met with a burning smell and a sight of smoke entering the windows. You find Dahlia sitting in the attic. In a brief time you were away, she sets the room ablaze. You smell something sort of accelerant. It was, you wonder, she put something through it this before about what she would do. It occurs to you to attempt to scoop her into the jar, but the flame is creeping up to the side of her dress and her hair. Leave her or save her? You know what? Crazy Doll needs to die. Huxley was right about it, in a way. She is in hell of her own making, and never has it been so clear as now when you see her being taken by the flames. Cracks from the heat, and her clothes and her hair burnt away. You look away. You start to think, where was the possibility of entering you being happy in this arrangement? It's both a punishment and a mercy to let her burn. You leave her to grab a pitch of water for the fire. To scale, it's small and fairly contained. The only damage is the dollhouse. Still, you move your paint thinner and repair supplies off the table and sprints down the surface with water to catch any stray embers. And you wait. You don't put out the fire until you're sure it has been reduced to nothing more than porcelain debris. You take some responsibility for this situation. After all, it was your dollhouse. You were in charge of it. But things were clearly beyond your redemption. You're not sure when you'll be up to it, but you'll just have to start over fresh. A new home, maybe new toys. And you'll be sure your control is known to be undefiable, so that this never happens again. Ending 2. The Doll Maker, the Monster Maker. Ooh. Well, that was Don't Toy With Me. Pretty interesting game. Good aesthetic. It said body horror, and I seen it with what she did to the clown. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good one out there. Please like and subscribe.